Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Battle Report. We're going to be playing on this table. And we have Grey Knights versus Dark Eldar. It's a 1500 point battle, so 40k Nation fans, sit back and enjoy the action-packed game that's going to happen. So I'm going to be playing Matt. You've seen me play him before. Hey Matt, say hi.
Hi.
So first we'll go over our army lists as always and showcase, and then we will get right into the thick of it. So, Matt, what is it that you have in your list?
Start off with 3 strike squads. Each strike squad has the Justicar with a halberd, a side cannon. 2 of them are mounted in las cannon Razorbacks, and 1 is mounted in a Razorback, which is side bolt ammunition. Behind them I have my HQ Kotias with a Battle Psyker squad, which won't do anything in this game, but that's alright. Just 6 Battle Psykers mounted in a Rhino.
Yep.
2 Cyphelman Dreads, a Stormraven gunship that's pretty beefed up actually. It's got twin-linked assault cannon, hurricane bolters on the side sponsons, and a front-mounted Typhoon missile launcher. He runs an astounding 260 points, but hey, it's a flyer, so have fun. And last but not least, a Purifier squad gave the Knight of the Flame a master-crafted halberd. There's a Nemesis Demon Hammer and 2 incinerators because, well, they're free. And mounted in a side cannon, side bolted Razorback.
There you go, awesome. Well, after that long-winded thing, we do have Cortez. You can see here. Oh, I love playing fully painted armies on fully painted tables and terrain. I'm sorry it's been a while since our last report. My 1500 points, very similar to what you've seen before. Leading the army, I have a Huskblade Archon with a Huskblade, Soul Trap, Shadowfield, Phantasm Grenade Launcher, 4 Incubi with a Clavex in a Venom. All my tanks, of course, except for the Razorwing, have Night Shields. 8 Witches in a Raider with Haywire Grenades, 5 Witches in a Venom with Haywire Grenades, 6 Reaver Jet Bikes with a Champion and 2 Heat Lances, 3 Eldar Jet Bikes as an allied detachment with an Eldar Farseer with Runes of Warding, and hence that's why Matt was saying that his Psycho Battle Squad is going to have a hard time doing anything this game. 12 Warriors with a Splinter Cannon and a Blaster, another 5 Warriors with a Blaster and another Venom, and a Ravager, and of course my Razorwing with Disintegrator Cannons and stock missiles. Okay, so thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll be right back. Deployment. We put up terrain. There was 3 pieces in this section, 3 in there, 1 in here, 1 in here, 1 in here. So I had to try and block some line of sight stuff with that. It is Night Fight turn 1. That's 12 Warriors with the Farseer there. There's an objective here. It is Big Guns Never Tire, which means heavy support choices are scoring, but they do count as an additional point if killed. There's another objective there. There's another objective back there, and there's another objective back there. So that's we got. Oh, and there's one right there. There's 5 objectives. It's also Vanguard deployment, as you might be able to tell. Matt is very smartly not stealing the initiative because I chose to go first, and it's an objective game, so he wants to try and contest at the end of the game. And his Warlord trait gives -1 to my reserves, of which I have my Razorwing and Eldar Jetbikes in reserve. He has his Stormraven in reserve. And my drugs rolled +1 weapon skill. So we have Witches in that Raider, Incubi, no, Witches in that Raider as well, Incubi with my Archon, Warriors with a Blaster in there, Ravager, and of course the Reaver Jetbikes. Okay, so we'll be back as the game, oh, and of course my Psychic Power is Prescience, because I like that one. Okay, we'll be back, and enjoy the report. So this is turn 1 recap. I moved up a lot, so I moved these guys up here, boosted them up, and then shot and did nothing, even if it was Night Fight. And then Grey Knights moved up. He had 1 Razorback within 36 inches of that, searchlighted it, and then had the Cyphelman blow it up, sky high. Didn't do anything to these over here. Put a hull point on my Ravager and prevented it from shooting next turn, because he did the same trick over there with that last cannon Razorback. And now we're moving on to turn... Oh, they're pinned, by the way. We're moving on to turn 2, and my reserves are at -1, so I need 4s to bring them in. So my Razorwing does show up, and my Eldar Jetbikes. No, they don't show up. Okay, so we'll be back after Dark Eldar turn 2. So we had this Venom immobilize itself there. This Venom with the Witches come out. The Witches came out, charged that and blew it up. Put 2 hull points on that. The Reavers moved up and helped with a couple hull points on that. The Pathfinder's now out, but they're fine. The Incubi and the Archon charging that, even though my Archon had to make 1 save from snapshots. He passed the Shadowfield, which is good, and now the Dreadnought has 1 save left. They moved up. The Razorwing came on and blasted that, but failed to do any damage. And of course, the Ravager moved back, and of course, we actually rolled for it. The Storm Raven is coming in, so we'll be back at the end of Grey Knight's turn 2. Storm Raven came in, blasted the Reaver jet bikes off the table. Ouch. Archon finished off the Contemplar Dread. The Purifiers killed everybody they could see. She left alive because my Warlord trait is everybody within 12 is leadership 10. She didn't run away. That guy snapshot, that last cannon Razorback, snapshot into my Razorwing. I tried to evade, failed my save, and he blew it out of the sky. And then the wreckage, that's where it landed. Okay, other than that, they lost a casualty. Everything else is fine. And I will be rolling for my Eldar jet bikes, which show up this time. Okay, and we'll be back after Dark Eldar turn 3. These 12 warriors have kind of moved up. My Farseer tried to twin link the Ravager with Prescience. He rolled boxcars, and then his Ghost Helm failed to save him. So now he's sitting at 1 wound. The Ravager and this warrior unit both fired at that Storm Raven and did nothing. The Eldar jet bikes came on, they moved here, and then 2 were boosted up here to force the Storm Raven to either hover to deal with them or to ignore them. My Lone Witch decided to throw a Plasma Grenade at the Purifiers and missed horribly. My Archon and Incubi moved up, threw a Haywire Grenade to blow up that Ravager, and then, or wreck it, then charged through the wreckage, lost an Incubi for a dangerous strain, and then the Archon single-handedly wiped out 5 Grey Knights with his Husk Blade. I rolled 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. That was kind of cool. So they're sitting at a pain token. I wasn't able to do anything on this side, and my Witches have been decided to move up here, but they have a big piece of open ground here to move through. Okay, so we'll be moving through Grey Knight turn 3, and we will return. We had a combo team over here, knockout with the Cyber Raven, all the Incubi, and the Archon. Over here, the Psychopath squad originally decided to try and shoot and had all died, but then I reminded Matt that it was a troop choice because of Cortez, so he probably didn't want to have them all die since there's an objective right there. So, take a note, that's a good sportsmanship thing to do, especially in a friendly game. Over here, the Witch is still alive. Storm Raven blasted, killed a few of these guys, didn't do anything to the Ravager, and then this shooting killed the Witch and killed a few, but they fell back and were just the Cabalite Warriors failed at least on 12 and were like an inch away from falling off the table. Okay, so it's Dark Eldar turn 4, and we'll see what happens. So they failed to regroup, rolling at 11, and they ran off the board. This fired at the Cypherman and only put 1 hull point on a glance. I fired the jet bikes, 2 full Venoms at 3 Purifiers and killed 1. And then that warrior unit in there failed to shoot, to hit the Storm Raven with a snapshot. And of course the Witches moved out 5 inches, needed a 10 to charge, and got a 9 with the fleet reroll. So they are now in the open as well. And now we're moving on to Grey Knight turn 4. So what happened? Jet bikes died because this went into hover mode and blew them to smithereens. Venom died here, blew up, killed 3 guys. That also died thanks to that. The Witches that were caught out in the open got blasted down to 1 and they fell back. And it's looking really grim, but Dark Eldar are fighting it to turn 5. We don't give up. So even though I have 3 marbles left. See, 1, 2, 3. Okay, see you later at the end of Dark Eldar turn 5. With great regret, I let you know that I wasn't tabled! Yeah! They actually made 18 saves from that and a whole bunch of other shooting in order to not, like, they went to ground for dear life. I did lose this game horribly, but that was a nice moral victory. Okay, Matt, thanks a lot for gaming. He just moved up and shot at them, and then, of course, my Witch fell back, and then he hit the Storm Raven in my last turn, but failed to do anything. So turn 5, the Acolytes got out to take that objective, and now we're doing a post-game recap. Matt.
Wow. It worked really well.
Yep.
Riz actually didn't roll very well for the most part. He missed some key rolls, and I think that he got a little. He started making dangerous moves.
Dangerous moves, that's right.
He gambled.
I gambled once my whole unit had run off the board.
All in all, it was a great game, honestly. And finally, I have redemption. I think I'm now 1-3 versus Riz. So
there you go. There you go. Redemption is yours. From a tactical note, I tried to. My original idea was to get this witch unit and then throw it up here when the 2 witches and the Archon had started attacking this area to overload this one flank. Luckily, he was able to down this raider before it was able to boost up, which then meant that they were stranded without really anything to do. The Storm Raven was an absolute fantastic MVP of the game, in my opinion. He came on, blasted away the jet bikes, which are a great contender to causing a lot of headaches for Matt. I don't like blaming dice on games. I just don't do it, so I won't. Tactically, my Archon wiping out that whole unit in one round of combat meant that he was then able to get shot by everything and therefore eventually fail his Shadowfield save and die to a Psy Cannon shot. Other than that, I did lack long-range anti-tank in this mission. I've been running my very mash of army. It's a list that just has a mash of units, and Matt is still playing a very 5th edition fully mechanized army, which, as you can see, is quite effective still if your opponent did not bring enough anti-tank weapons. So mech is definitely not dead. You just have to, play it well. Okay, well, thanks a lot for watching. Of course, you can always go to the podcast site and blog, www.skard.podbean.com. You can also check out the YouTube channel if you're watching this. You can subscribe, like the videos, and all that good stuff. Thanks a lot for watching. This is Skari. Out.